What does right to life and liberty mean?
Okay, basically, um, anyone who is alive and well knows he has the right to life. And this is guaranteed in Nigeria by the 1999 Constitution as amended. That's Section 33, which says that every person has a right to life and no one shall be deprived of his intentional of his life. We added some exceptions to it. And when you have life, the next thing is to have what? Liberty. You get it? That is liberty to move around, liberty to choose, liberty to make decisions about the life that you have. We all recognize that, like I've defined earlier, that human rights are innate, they are inherent, they are things actually that God actually puts into us as human beings, and all those codifications and statutes are just to ensure that all these gifts from God, all those gifts from the Creator are institutionalized. They are institutionalized, and that's just it. So that's basically about the right to life and also liberty. Is there anyone that has life that actually has facts? Thank you very much.
Are there circumstances where it's someone's life can be taken?
Of course, yes. There are circumstances where basically, according to Section 33 of the 99 Constitution as amended, there are also some conditions that guarantee that can, where a person's life can be what's deprived. Like I said earlier, I said every person has the right to life, and no one shall be deprived intentionally of his life, save in the execution of the sentence of the courts in respect of the criminal offense which he has been found guilty. Who or who has been which he has been found guilty. Now, let me just put it this way so that you understand what the law is saying there. A person who is alive and well should not intentionally kill another person. When such a person kills another person, that means the person has committed an offense because there is an offense against taking the life of another person, whether with malice aforethought or without malice. If it is with malice, then that person has committed what we call murder. Because before you could commit such an offense, you must intend the result. So as a result of that, such a person will be charged for murder. Well, someone may actually kill another person without malice, then that is more, or he never really intended, but he knew that if someone was dead, someone's life may be lost. And that is what we call manslaughter. Both of them are called culpable homicide. As a result of this, when such a person is charged to court and is found guilty, the courts, as established by the Constitution, they have the right to actually take someone's life. That is what Section 30 was just saying about this. I say in the execution of the sentence of a court, that is when someone's life can be taken, that is taking it legally, because the person has committed an offense against the state, against the Constitution. As a result of that, yes, someone's life can be deprived by the stakes. But if a person has not committed any offense, your life is not expected to be deprived by any other person. I think that's it. Every cases are determined by the facts and merits therein. Most people don't understand what the law says about self-defense. Even in criminal trial, before you can kill self-defense successfully, because you can also plead it wrongly, people believe that, okay, if someone slaps me and I slap the person back and the person dies, it is self-defense. That is not actually true. Yes. But because the definition of self-defense, let me just use the analogy of slap. If someone tried to slap you and you dodge it, and the person falls down by himself, is that not defense enough? If the person slaps you and instead of hitting your cheek, you block it with your hand, and as you block it with your hand, the person falls down and dies, is that not defense enough? But when you say someone slaps you and you now retaliate, that is no longer what self-defense. There was this Supreme Court decision in recent times, although I've not read it, So I won't say much about it, where someone was actually, he saw the guns of his attackers and he actually used it on them. And they said it can't come under self-defense. Well, I'll leave that to our consciences. But the way the Lord pulls self-defense is that you are expected to use a reasonable force to ensure that the crime that is about to be committed against you is actually foiled. You get it? That's the way actually self-defense can actually be well pleaded. It is when the assailant or the attacker all what he wants is your life, even after you have ensured that yes, it should not take your life. That is when you can now say, okay, you're actually aiming at the person. Let me just give this example right now. And the example is that let's say an armed robber enters a house and started robbing the house, just one. And when the armed robber was robbing the house, in the process of robbing the house, he pointed the gun at the owner of the house. He did not shoot. And later he drops his gun. And after finishing robbing them, the owner of the house grabbed the gun and also pointed at him. And the owner of the house is like, okay, I'm going to shoot if you don't drop. He said, no, I have another gun. And he brought out another gun and shot at the owner of the house. If the owner of the house, if the bullet misses the owner of the house, the owner of the house can actually shoot the gun he has in his hand. One, because that has moved from I saw the gun, and when he dropped the gun, I took the gun, and since he has robbed me, I decided to kill him. That one is retaliation. But since he has fired the shots because he had another gun in order to kill the owner of the house, the owner of the house can actually, it's another reasonable force. That's what the law says, reasonable force. Since his life is really, really at stake, he can actually point back the gun that he got and fire back. And if the person dies, the person is just expected to kill self-defense. Actually, to be successful. Because what the court is always looking at is the reasonable force used. And every part, like I said earlier, are determined, every matter is determined by the facts before the court. You get it? So people think that, okay, because someone attacks, I should also attack. Not good. Someone slaps you, we bring out an hammer. You hit the person on the skull. The person that say is the one that first started it. I'm just going to doing self-defense. That is not self-defense. That is even pure murder. Because there is evidence of malice and such. So, the law has no emotions. The prayer is just that one should just be careful.
Say the police is trying to arrest, say, suspect or somebody will be caught in the act of a crime. I mean, you hear watch it in movies, you hear stories of they shot the person that's trying to escape and protect that. Is that also one of the circumstances?
So yes, it is actually one of the circumstances. Let me give you an instance. If the police has a such warrant to actually make an arrest of a defendant of a suspect, and the police officers gets to his or her house, he refuses to open the door and actually opens fire on them. They don't have to. There's no way to bring him before the court to say, So the next thing is that they're actually empowered by law to also fire back legally. And, that death will not be one of maybe they committed murder or they acted outside the scope of their job. So, yes, that's true. Also, if someone has been arrested already and in a way to, instead of cooperating with the police, and he has been put into a lawful custody, maybe at the police station or at the prison services, and he's seen trying to escape illegally without authority, without being bailed or without an order of court to take him out. Actually, if any harmed policeman sees him or her, they can actually shoot at that person, even without recourse to the court, because it will be taken that he is adding to the offense that he's committing. It will be taken that the intelligence and the security of our security people is being compromised. That's why it could be able to escape lawfully. So naturally, that's just the best way to attack such an incident. But we hardly do have it. Most of the ones that we know are the ones from the courts.
Just like you mentioned, the police, or maybe somebody gets shot and they're being accused of extrajudicial killing. I want us to talk in this video on that. Why are the society, the law and the court frowning against it and its effects? And maybe before you answer that, you can talk a bit. You can tell us maybe the meaning of what's in it.
According to the Constitution, any extrajudicial killing, any killing outside in the state's killing, and what do I mean by state killing? That is by the courts, and also show some incidences that we have discussed in the cast. Any killing outside that is actually extrajudicial killing. The deliberate killing of a person is extrajudicial killing. Simply Certa. And this is not allowed anywhere in the world. You can't just decide to kill someone else. Like you earlier said, there was this jungle justice net out on the 4 boys at Alibu were actually students. So then students of either Uniport or River State University of Science and Technology. I can't remember the full details now, but they were actually alleged to have actually committed a crime, which at the end, it was discovered that they were actually innocent. No wonder the Lord always presume every defendant innocent until proven guilty. Extrajudicial firm should not be something that should be in a developed society. We should use the courts. We should follow the law. So pursue our grievances, and also to law enforcement. You should also help in this regard. Don't just leave. You come on radio to tell us or TV that security is everyone's concern, but when they catch a thief, sometimes if the thief is well known to the police, I've been in. There's a matter I'm working on where the person committed burglary, and the person was caught at the scene of the crime. Naturally, emotions always born when you get a suspect like that, especially for an offense committed at the scene of the crime. In this my case, it happens to be a friend who built a very beautiful house for his mom, and that my friend his wife gave birth recently. So the mom left the house where my friend did and came to live with her son in the city, and I think she's been absent from home for like 3 to 6 months with no one living there. So someone called them that it's as if someone has broken into your house. And they quickly went to the police. And when they got to the police, they discovered that the person has vandalized virtually everything of value, from the pumping machine to every gadget. In fact, they even saw that it was just about he had removed the whole wiring of the house, and they were like, "What's happening?" Someone just told them, "Let us check the ceiling," and they just saw him in the ceiling. There is no how. Would you say, "Oh, good boy"? There is no how. At least the person will get some slaps and some good beatings, which was what they did. But he was not injured. They took him to the police station. I'm saying this on this podcast. The police did not take the defendants in, did not arrest the defendants. That is actually wrong. Does not say he was bleeding, but that one will actually be dealt with later. But I said that just as the police and the law enforcement, they're asking for the cooperation, or do ask for the cooperation of the people, they should not push the people to see jungle justice as the right justice. You will hear people say on commentary that politicians are taking billions of nairas, they're taking billions of dollars. They should just kill every one of them. It is because the citizens have lost confidence in institutions like the police and also like the courts to some extent. They've lost it, and that's the reason why they want quick justice. There's a legal aphorism that says justice rush is justice crushed. Justice rushed is justice crushed. The other side of the coin is justice delayed is justice denied. But so for every one of us listening to this podcast, we should ensure that we should not rush justice. I want to go a little into fair hearing because that has actually been my guide in Queen versus University of Cambridge, which happens to be the precedent, the judicial precedent for the right to fair hearing in common law. Recourse was need. So what happened in the Garden of Eden, for those of us who are Christian faithfuls, that God, who is all-knowing, did not convict Adam and Eve without giving them a right to hear them. God came himself down to come and talk with them. They eat themselves. And he didn't ask the serpent first. He didn't ask the woman first. He asked Adam first. Adam, where are you? And God didn't say, oh, because you're not here. Blah. No, God gave them the opportunity to be had before reaching out his judgment. And it was what Adam, he said that ensured that judgment followed. So basically, we should always encourage hearing the other side of the matter. No one can be a judge in his case. You can't listen to one side of a story and compete. There are always two sides. So if this person is caught committing a crime, the best thing is to be taken to the police. No matter the evidence you have, you still need to prove it so that his killing or his punishment, let me put it that way, will be according to the law. Not that, oh, we saw him, I would decided to just burn him. No, that is actually killing in another aspect. That is taking someone's life, and that is actually extrajudicial killing. So anything that is not the judicial killing is extrajudicial killing and is actually against the law. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I just want to also hack in. I know you mentioned it before that sometimes the benefit of this is, if you think about it, that if this was your, like a family member, was you that is in that shoe, you want to be given a chance to be heard. Yes. So we must always put other people, consider other people, even if it's in the heat of the moment. Consider this is somebody's child, this is somebody's son, and hand them over to the proper authority, who will, of course, take the necessary steps to bring that person to justice.